April of 2022 is quite the exciting month for planets, if you like getting up early. We've got 4 of the 5 visible planets hanging out together in the mornings. We have Mercury having its greatest apparition for the year. We also have 2 conjunctions in the mornings, as well as some possible meteors. So, welcome to Observing with Webb, where a high school astronomy teacher tells you what you're looking at, why it's so cool, and what you should check out later this month at night. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little tour, and we're going to look at the planets first. We've got quite a lineup of morning planets to see throughout the entire month. They're all there, and they're moving around a little bit. So we're going to get to that. And we've got a meteor shower. So let's get right to it. Alright, so as far as planets go, I usually start with the sunset ones, but in the beginning of the month there are no sunset planets, right? So if we set this for sunset, and then let's go to April 15th, okay? Oh, there it is. Mercury is coming on up. Now at the 15th, you're probably not going to be able to see it because it's still close to the sun, but you have to have a real good view of the horizon. But if you wait a couple days, in fact about 2 weeks, April 30th is when it is the highest in the sky and easiest to see. In fact, a little bit after sunset, it is about 20 degrees above the horizon, but you do want to wait, I don't know, I guess till like 8 o'clock until it gets dark enough to actually see it. But it's there. It's always exciting to see Mercury, because you don't normally see it, and it's not always a good one to find. So there you go. There's Mercury. All right. Now let's go to the morning where there are a ton of planets. So I'm going to reset this for April 1st. I'm going to set it for sunrise, and I'm going to change our direction. We're going to look east. Okay? So what we're going to do for this month is we're going to use Venus as our guidepost, because Venus is the brightest planet that we can see, so it's easy to sort of work off of from there. But let's take a look at this whole lineup. Okay, here I have it at 6:44 a.m. and you'll see that on April 1st you got Venus, Saturn, and Mars making a beautiful triangle together. Venus being really, really bright, Saturn being bright but more of a caramel color, and Mars being a little bit more red and a little bit dimmer. In fact, Mars is 1.06, Saturn is, oh, there we go, up 3.65. So that's actually less bright. So Mars is going to be brighter than Saturn. And of course, Venus is negative 4.29, which I know it doesn't make sense, but the lower the number, the better. So they're out there, and Jupiter's way off to the left. Okay, you might be able to catch it in the beginning of the month, but it's going to get better. So just wait for Jupiter. And so what we're going to notice here, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to zoom in on Venus, Saturn, and Mars, because what happens is interesting. Saturn sort of moves to the right, and then on April 5th, we have Saturn and Mars being within half a degree. The moon, this is about the width of the moon in real vision, in real life. Saturn and Mars are going to be that far apart. Now, I like this conjunction because Mars is red and Saturn is more cream color-like, so you can actually see a really good difference in the colors there. And let's see, if we were to look through a telescope, you're going to need a wide field, but you should be able to catch the rings of Saturn like that, and Mars. Now Mars, you won't be able to see the surface of Mars because it's far away, but it is technically there. It'll be more like a red dot. Saturn, you should be able to see the rings. All right, so that is April 5th. Let's keep moving forward through the month. Remember, this is the mornings. You want to get up after 5 a.m., but before like 6:30. Your times may vary due to your longitude. But you notice on the 6th, 7th, you notice that Saturn and Venus are kind of moving away from Mars, and Jupiter's kind of creeping in there as well. And yeah, right about the 15th, 16th, you have a nice, almost perfectly even separation between all of the planets. That's going to be cool to see. Nice thing is, any morning is good this month, so you don't have to bank on really good weather. Let's keep moving on a little bit from here. Let's see, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Here we go. And next thing, there we go. 23rd is when the moon actually comes in and starts doing its thing, okay? It's going to be a crescent moon, and on the 23rd, it's way over there to the right, but you still get a good lineup. And then on the 24th, it's going to be below Saturn here. 25th, it's below Mars and Saturn together, but a little bit lower than them. Then you've got on the 26th, it's going to be below Venus and Mars. And then on the 27th, it's below Jupiter and Venus, right? Now, this is going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to look like a pretty interesting, like, smirk or like a, oh my goodness, what's going on sort of look. Jupiter and Venus being the eyes and the moon being the mouth. Pareidolia, look it up. Anyway, so that's the 27th. Now, the 28th, I guess you might be able to see the moon there. I think that's going to be a stretch. But if you have a clear view of the horizon, you can still get all of that that's going on right there. So, let's see. Planets, that's basic. Oh, wait. There's one more for the planets. 29th, 30th. Oh, take a look at this. Jupiter and Venus are now half a degree apart. You could fit a full moon in between them just about. And with a nice wide field telescope view, you should be able to catch both of them. Venus will be much brighter, but you should be able to get the surface of Jupiter, and you might even see the slightly gibbous phase of Venus. Okay? In fact, you can even see that the next on the 31st. They're just a little bit further apart. That's all. Okay. So yeah, if you're looking for planets this month, you're looking in the morning and you're looking at the east-southeast sky. Go ahead, have fun.
And a bunch of other stuff. And a bunch of other stuff. And a bunch of other stuff.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about events that are going on. First of all, with the moon phases, we've got the new moon on the 1st. We've got, so then the first week is going to be the evening crescents. Okay. Then after that, the first quarter moon is on the 9th. That means you can see it until about midnight, and it's half lit up. Then we've got a week of evening gibbous moons. Full moon on the 16th. Waning gibbous then is after that. That means it's mostly lit, but it rises later and later at night each night. That's when we stop getting the light pollution of the moon right at sunset. Then we've got last quarter moon is on the 23rd. And then some morning crescents, like I was just showing you, after that. Now, we already talked about the conjunction on the 5th between Mars and Saturn. That's really the only thing in the beginning of the month. But we also have, on the 22nd, on April 22nd, we have the Lyrid meteor shower. Now, the Lyrid meteor shower, there's a slight issue here in that usually it's the morning that's the best time to observe it. And this year, the moon is going to be, well, up in the morning, okay? Waning gibbous there. And, okay, fine. So what you might want to do is actually go out on the previous evening and just go out for 20 minutes. I like to give myself 20 minutes and just say, I'm going to stick it out there for 20 minutes. Whatever I see, I see. If I don't see anything, okay. I don't need to wait any longer. But if I see something, good. I would also encourage you to think there's about 10 to 20 meteors in this meteor shower per hour. So it's a minor shower, but you should be able to see something. And what you should think about, though, or what I think about, is that each meteor is a piece of debris that's left over from a comet. And we're crashing into that at over 100,000 miles per hour. And so what happens is the meteor crushes the atmosphere in front of it, or the atmosphere runs into it and gets crushed. And that heats up the air, heats up the meteor, and that's how we get the light. It's pretty cool. Okay? I already talked about the 23rd to the 27th. You've got the moon going in and seeing Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Saturn. But then the other thing is on the 30th. We actually have three things going on the 30th. And one we already talked about, Jupiter and Venus being together right there. The other thing is Mercury. Now, we got to switch back. April 30th, let's go to sunset, and let's look toward the west. And Mercury's up there. I didn't mention this before, but if you look closely, and let's let night fall just a little bit. Let's go to like 8:30. Okay. And we zoom in on, what do we see? We see the Pleiades right there. So you should be able to get Mercury and the Pleiades right in one shot in your telescope. So good luck. Get out there and take part. The other thing on the 30th is not actually a thing that we're going to be able to see. It is a partial solar eclipse. Now, that is awesome. You can see stuff online, check out social media. But the thing is that partial solar eclipse is only visible in West South America and in the oceans around that area as well. So I wouldn't bank on it. Don't get too excited. But just know, if you start seeing stuff about an eclipse, you didn't really miss anything. It's happening, but not for us. Okay? All right, so don't forget the conjunctions on the 30th and the 5th, meteor shower on the 22nd, and lots of planets in the morning. Let's move on and talk about some constellations.
Are there patterns in our skies? Are patterns only in our eyes?
All right, starting off the month, actually I'm in the middle of the month, April 15th, but as I look, we have one last chance to see Orion. Right? Follow his belt to the left to find Canis Major and the brightest star in the sky, Sirius. If we follow his belt and go to the right, we've got Taurus the Bull. Okay? And then we've got Gemini, Auriga, and Canis Minor up there as well. Those are the big winter constellations. This is your last chance to really get a good look at them. Okay? And that is right around 9 o'clock. Okay? Also, what you can see is Leo, the lion. You're looking for a backward question mark with a right triangle to the left of it. Just a really pretty thing to see in the sky. You've got a lion's head and the lion's hindquarters, although some people kind of switch it and say that this is the lion's tail and this is the lion's head. It's all up to our brains anyway. It's all interpretations of randomness anyway, so you're good to go there. Let's say you're actually getting up early in the morning. Whoops, what can you see early in the morning? Here we go. We've got some spring constellations showing up. I'm going to focus on Lyra and Hercules. Just if you look in the morning past 4 a.m. and you look almost straight up, in fact, this is at an altitude of 65 degrees, so 2/3 of the way up to the sky, you've got Lyra the Harp with the brightest star, Vega, right there. Whoops. Right there. There we go. And then right nearby is Hercules. You're seeing this keystone shape. The keystone is actually an asterism, just a recognizable shape. And off to the one side is the Hercules Cluster. M13, the Hercules Cluster, is just a beautiful little cluster of stars. You should be able to see it just as a faint little fuzzy with your naked eye. But I always try to go to this part of the keystone and look about 1/3 of the way toward that upper right star. And there we go. That is my summary of the April sky. So I know I'm going to be going out there and looking at the planets in the morning, hopefully getting some good pictures. Good time to practice and see what kind of exposures you need for different planets and different areas and all that. So yeah, I hope your April is awesome, and I hope you have very clear, dark skies. And don't forget that this podcast is found on Podbean, mrwebb.podbean.com, Stitcher, and iTunes as a podcast. You can also see a video. Well, wait, you're watching the video right now, and you can see me on Twitter and Instagram as @MrWebbPV. And the Pequea Valley Planetarium also has some stuff going on at times at PV Planetarium.